Actually, one of the most cancerous people I've ever played against in my entire life. He actually thinks that he's like really legit when every single attack that he does is either a sow feint or a gamble. And it is some of the worst gambles I've ever seen. Like reverse overhead gambles, fucking like, he will gamble your stabs with an LMV or some dumb shit like that. Like, I actually wish he would get cancer and die so that nobody knows how to play like that ever. Because, like, I think the game would be 10 times better if playstyle didn't exist. And if he didn't exist, I'd probably still play Shiv. Okay, now this is interesting, alright? I think that Ravel is probably, like, one of the worst players in the competitive scene, and it amazes me that he's gone as far as he has. Because it's like, take like a 5-year-old, right, and tell them that like this is what you should do and this is what you should not do, but then you have Ravel, and he's like that 5-year-old you told not to do something, and he just goes ahead and goes with it and is like, this is the right thing to do. And it's like he feints so much that his playstyle is literally like 9 out of 10 times is a feint. And if you don't fall for him and he wastes all of his stam, then he'll just gamble you. That is his playstyle. You can legitimately tell him like, that's not what you should do, and he's like, no, 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 no. This is the right way. And he will do that over and over until he just thinks that somehow you've either 1, hacked, 2, outplayed him, or 3, it's just a fucking anomaly and it's never gonna happen again. And so all those times that I used to like fuck him in scrims, dude, I actually teabagged him. Every single time I killed him, I would teabag him just because it felt so good knowing that I utterly destroyed that idiot. And it felt really nice. And like, I think that's why he probably thought I was so toxic, but I mean, it's true, like, it feels good when you beat Ravel, because it's like, the one biggest mechanic that people abuse, that he has made his playstyle out of, you can read all of the feints, and you can predict everyone, you can punish all of them, and you basically just make him your bitch. And that's why I love dueling Ravel, because he's so terrible. Girls shouldn't play video games.
Wow. That's it?
That's all I need to say.
That's an opinion.
Lemon gives me cancer, that's a fact.
That's an opinion.
That's a fact. She gives everyone cancer. She's made all of Hyperion her fucking, like, cucks, dude. It's disgusting. Like, Cervantes is so pussy whipped, it's not even funny. Literally, she runs that shit. Like, dude, she has all of Hyperion in the palm of her fucking hand, and she just wants you to just pretty much, like, treat her like she's the most important thing in Shiv. That's the way women rolls. Like, it's just like a fucking, like, what, Kahlua does to mess with her and stuff. When he'll be like, he'll change his name to Lemon, and she's like, why are you so obsessed with me? And stuff like that, like, every time she sees that or whatever. And, like, she just thinks all of Chivalry loves her to death, and I don't know why, because literally all of us think she's cancer, she brings an overpowered mercs, and she's a terrible player. That's why girls should just stay out of video games. I think example number 2 for that would be Sam. Girls just, they should stick to things they're better at.
Let's see, let's bring in it's an interesting player. How about Phil?
Phil is like the most stereotypical Asian person I've ever met in my entire life. He is a living, breathing meme, pretty much, of Asian people. He's like the kid of that Asian dad who, like, seeks perfection, you know, that meme with, like, the green background and he's reading a newspaper or whatever? He's like the kid to that guy, but he's like, you did no good in an archer battle? No, Phil, that bad. And then he, like, kicks Phil out of the house and makes him live in the streets and eat dog food. But anyway, so pretty much, what I think about Phil is, he just pretty much, like, wants to ride whatever clans, like, or basically he wants to dick ride whatever clan is in the top position currently for, like, whoever's won the last tourney. Like, I remember back when Phoenix was #1, he was like, I want to join Phoenix. But I mean, it was all Asianed out and shit, like, me like Phoenix very good team. Like, I no, Genesis bad team, no. And then he just wants to join Phoenix and shit, so like, I was like, alright Phil, that's great dude. You're a good archer and all, so I'd like it if you could stay with, you know, us and Jin. He was like, I'll think about it, but I want to join Phoenix. And so, like, He like was like fucking around with Phoenix for a long time, and he was like, I like LG. I'm gonna join LG, and I'm like, Phil, you're never gonna make it into LG. They have such like in just their lineup is like basically set in stone. You're never gonna take the place of any of their archers or anything like that. God only knows how he got into LG at this point, but that was back when he tried and didn't get in. And he was like, I'm gonna join Tempest, and then he sits and
Tyler.
okay. if if you ever kill a shield knight and he calls hacks on you in a TeamSpeak, he's not even worth talking to. Literally a worthless human being. That's all I need to say about him. He's one of the biggest idiots, ragers, sunnies, memers who thinks he's fitting in, but he's really just a pointless piece of shit in most scenarios. For some reason, has been unable to achieve in 2,000 hours even remotely skillful gameplay. Actually one of the worst players with the amount of time he has. Like, I don't even know why he still plays Shiv. It can be fun for him. All he does is rage and shit. Like, I don't even know how it's fun for him. Just kills one clan after the other with this toxicity and bullshit and terrible gameplay. Anything else?
Let's see. How about Joe from Phoenix?
I actually really hate Joe. Joe's the person I probably hate the most out of the Shiv community other than Keys or Ravel. Or Oldon. Keys, Ravel, Joe, and Oldon should just die. Like, literally, they should just kill themselves. I don't think the world would be any less off than it is right now. As a matter of fact, it would actually really contribute a lot to world peace in general, like, improvement in life. But anyway, Joe is like, basically secondhand Keys, and Keys is basically like, I'm gonna dupe you because I don't know how to play this game, and so I just crutch on a broken mechanic. That if this game was actually made properly, would not be available to me, so I would just be a mediocre player. But of course, because I have abused this mechanic to the point of perfection, somehow I'm in the tier 1 team. And that is Joe. Joe is like a mediocre half-assed version of Keys, pretty much. So it's like, hey, I'm really good at fainting you, and I'm really good at being broken. Mainly because I don't know how to play this game, so every time you look at me, I just stab feint you with a Norse sword and hope for the best. And then he's like, okay, you read my North Sword feint, and you hit me, and you punished me. What should I do now? Well, because I don't know how to fucking play the game, anytime you look at me, swing at me, or feint at me, I'm just gonna dodge backwards and hope for the best. And that's the way the Joes play, that's the way the Joe and Keys play, and I fucking hate that. That is the least skillful way to play the game. I'd actually rather play against a gambling knight than an idiot duper man-at-arms who doesn't know how to play the game. Shouldn't even play the game. Should have been kicked out a long time ago or some shit from the community for using a tactic like that. It's like the whole reason I stopped playing Shiv is because the man-at-arms is an unbalanced class.
How about Anstey?
That's not even worth my time. No. Literally, I would I would rather talk about like mourning or something like that or stranger than Anstey. That's how little worth he has in the Shiv community. He is benchwarmer to skills of all people. That's literally not worth my time.
Okay, then what about skills?
He's just the biggest douchebag I've ever met in my entire life. It's amazing though that like that's all I'm gonna say about him. Think about how little I would have to say about Anstey or how much I would have to say about how much of a downy Anstey is compared to Skills. The Skills literally is just a douchebag who uses the easiest bow in the game and just literally has gotten to the point where somehow he's like good at being so autistic at the game that he can somehow hit you like more than you would think would be humanly possible. I don't know. I just don't like Skills because he's a douchebag. He's super cocky. He always mercs for Hyperion, and he doesn't think that like, oh, this is imbalanced playing against tier 2 or 3 teams when I'm in a tier 1 team that's like one of the best teams in like NA or whatever. But it's okay. I'm just gonna do this because Lemon is a fucking I'm like Lemon's cuck or something. Is his mindset? I don't know. He's just such an idiot. I just hate archers. If he didn't have that class, he'd be terrible at the game because he's so bad at melee. Like it's hilarious how terrible he is at melee.
He's like,
His mindset when he's
like
in
the
melee
best
is like,
archer.
I don't care, dude. Like archer to me is like such an imbalanced thing that like it shouldn't even be in the game. The game would be so much better if there was no archers, or if they just had like a one really shitty bow. And, like that's all it was.
Okay.
Thinker.
Stinker.
Thinker. Okay.
Thinker.
He's actually more cocky than Skills, which is that is a statement to be made.
Does that really solid in my opinion?
No, he's not. No, he's not, dude. If you got in a conversation with him and you actually talk to him, he literally will say, I'm the best player in North America. Like, he'll say it so, like, nonchalantly and as a matter of fact that it's like, he's got it so ingrained in his mind that the LG guys always tell him that he's the best or whatever, that, like, he just goes about thinking to himself, I'm the best motherfucker around. And, like, if you beat him, he'll literally call hacks on you. Like, 100%, he's like, I can't be beaten. I'm the best. If you beat me, you're a hacker. That is his mindset. He did that to Mike, and he got Mike kicked out of a tournament, and so Mike quit Shiv. And ever since then, I've just known exactly the fucking way he operates. I talked to him in a TeamSpeak one time and had a really in-depth conversation with him about, like, Shiv and just general stuff in life. And the way he just goes about doing things just rubs me the fucking wrong way, man. He's one of the most toxic people that if you actually fucking hear him talk shit about other people. He's so fucking cocky, and he's not that good of a player in my opinion. I think he's really counterable in a lot of ways. I've beat him in team engagements a lot of times, and I don't know what the fuck you guys are on about when you say he's the best player ever. Seriously, I had one scrim that comes to mind. We were playing on Stone Still. He was using, like, his Y, and he just gambled. Like, literally just ran around and gambled, and I beat him so many times using my Halberd. And every time I'd, like, stab feint him, he'd go for a gamble. And I'm like, I just feint to parry. And then he's like, whoa, you feinted to parry. What do I do now? And then he tries to target switch, and I just stab him in the back or something. I'm like, what, this is the god you guys keep talking about?
Alright, exit Boone.
Ooh. Actually the most cancerous man at arms I've ever played against in my entire life. He's actually worse than Joe or Keys. I
So
should have thought about
you're
exit
telling me
Boone.
he's worse than Joe, Keys, and,
Angry Dead Guy.
Angry Dead Guy.
He's actually worse than all of them because he's one of the, like, he's a duper, and he's a downy duper, so he's like extra downy duper, the way he plays, and then he just stab feints, and then overheads with the Dane axe and shit, and he just base hugs and just keeps stab feinting you until you fall for them, and if you don't fall for them, then he'll just like kick you and then keep stab feinting you or something retarded like that. Like he'll just do like these weird retard moves. He just laughs at you if you lose to him, because he knows that you hate man at arms. He like knows that you're gonna rage like, wow, your literal game plan is to feint until I fall for it and just dodge around me constantly. Like, you're God, dude. Great job. You've come far.
You know, and Pepper.
Ooh, Pepper. I always hated Pepper when I was in Genesis. I just disliked him. He just, like, everything about his personality just, like, gave me cancer, man. It was like... God, it was like somebody took sandpaper and shoved it into my ear canals and just started, like, rubbing it around really fast. Like, every time I heard his voice, I was just like, nails on chalkboard. Like, I just don't want to fucking think about you existing in this clan or, like, even acknowledging your existence. Just want to pretend like you don't exist. I don't have to put up with your bullshit all the time. Like, he's like a woman, dude. He's worse than a woman. He's a guy who is more feminine than some girls I've met and more sassy than some girls I've met. And, like, he thinks he's amazing, and if you say, like, you did better than him, he gets, like, super mad. Holy shit. I remember one time, Pepper was saying that I'm not a good player or something like that, and I fragged above him, like, 12 kills, and I was like, so Pepper, what was that stuff you were talking about, who's a better Vanguard? And he just went off on me and was saying, like, it doesn't matter about frags, it's about being a team player, and, like, all this other shit. I could just tell he was extremely tilted about it. So, and also, like, he was one of the biggest proponents of Genesis dying that nobody wants to acknowledge because they want to like somehow blame it on me or just not think about how cyanide was non-existent in the clan's like life for like the better half of 4 months or whatever when he just dropped off the face of the earth, stopped scrimming with us and stuff, and like just left everything up to Rathion, Pepper, and Lazy who said that we weren't good enough to play with them. And shit like that, so they're like, you guys need to 3v3 more, and Pepper was the biggest one, like, yeah, you guys should 3v3 more. Like, you guys aren't good enough to play with us yet. Stuff like that. And every time we do him, he's like, no, you're not doing that right. And, like, just, fucking just kill yourself. So annoying, man. Just hate hearing him talk. Yeah, like, it's, fuck Pepper, dude. He's a bitch. He's a shit Vanguard, shit Archer. That's all I have to say about him.
Alright,
Bill, do you want me to say the one I suggested, or do you have one in
Yeah,
mind?
go ahead.
Alright, how about sirloin and beef?
Sirloin is kind of like, I have a little bit of respect for Sirloin in some way because I've actually talked to him and I kind of know him decently. He seems like an alright guy. Like he's one of the few Tempest people that seems like an alright. Guts is an alright guy. I like Guts. He's a nice guy. I've actually talked with him like on an extensive basis about Shiv and stuff. I think he's a good guy. He's not a very good duelist. Like if you get him in a 1v1, you can probably beat him. But if you find him in team engagements, he's like one of the most effective team players in the entire game. But Sirloin, like, I don't know. I always felt bad for him because I feel like he was like way more active than Quasi ever was, but like he always got benched for Quasi, and I feel like he really pushed for the whole man at arms without a dodge thing. Like he was like, I would totally take out dodge from the game. Like he was like, I would pay Torn Banner $500 to take dodge out of the game. Like that's how much he like thought it was an imbalanced mechanic. And then if you just increased foot speed and maybe changed like the way the weapons worked or something like that. Just basically changed some things, turn speeds or whatever. Like he thought that the man at arms would be balanced out, and if you just took dodge out, it would really bring a lot more depth to the man at arms playstyle. And I was so 100% behind that, and I told him I was like, thank you for saying that. Some high, like tier one team men at arms needs to tell everybody like this isn't legit. This isn't how the game should be played. And so I like Sirloin. I don't think he's the best man-at-arms, but I do think he's a really good man-at-arms. And I think like a lot of the times he makes up for him being like a just faint bot in some scenarios or just like useless in others. Like I think he makes up for that he tries to be a team player, he tries to be an in-game leader, and he tries to just generally better the community in a lot of ways. So I like Sirloin. He's not a bad guy.
Oh, that was nice. That was really nice.